Hi, this is Mark. Welcome back to my channel, What Burns My Ass. This is a channel where I tell you things that burn my ass, and then you tell me whether or not they burn your ass too. So, the last video I just did was a whole new experiment on my behalf of trying new software. And it was supposed to be a trial software, and they didn't tell me that there was going to be a watermark on it, so that if you look at it, it was a big blur in the middle of it, which really kind of ticked me off. But I did some really cool effects, which I taught myself, like making myself small and put myself in the corner. And then I got big, and I moved a lot of cool things around, and I put some different graphics in. And it's like teaching myself to go to media school, become a producer or a media editor. And so it's teaching myself a whole new world. Anyways, And then I was also watching a lot of these videos where it says that, how to be successful on YouTube. And it says your first 10 videos, you're probably not going to get a lot of views, which is basically all I have. And I got scared, so I was like, I must be doing something wrong. So I haven't made a video in a while because I'm being a little, what's the word I'm trying to think of? I'm being self-conscious, and I'm not giving myself enough credit, because I actually went back through and I watched all my old videos, and I kind of actually liked my own videos. Now, I'm either egotistical or I'm just biased because it's mine. But I actually did not dislike my videos. And in my past videos, too, I had a lot of cool areas behind me. I had, like, Niagara Falls and Mount Rushmore and Provincetown, on Cape Cod. And it was kind of cool to show the really neat areas across the country, like Niagara Falls and so on. So, and I got some comments on this. So I think I might go back to doing that and see if that, because that kind of makes me different. And that's one of the things they said, you have to be successful to be on YouTube. Anyways, so what is this video about? This video is not about being a content creator on YouTube. This video is about why people are voting for Kamala Harris. And I'm going to answer that question. And in my opinion, it's based on a whole lot of misnomers and misinformation. And it is the mass media network that is really causing this type of misinformation. People are being misguided. They're being lied to, and they're being manipulated. Not just by Kamala Harris, but Donald Trump as well. Because both parties are manipulators. They both have their little games. They both have their little gamesmanship where they, gerrymander and all these other different things that people don't particularly care for. And it also seems, I think it ticks a lot of Americans off that there's all these controversies that happen, yet nobody ever hears what the outcomes of those certain things. Like, why isn't Hunter Biden in jail by now if they can prove that he was selling his father's influence in Ukraine and to China? Why is it taking so long? Why this? Why that? There's so many. Even the document scandal. That's to me, that's the one thing they could have got Donald Trump on. But if they were going to go after him for it, they would also have to go after Hillary Clinton, Mike Pence, Barack Obama, Hillary. All the other politicians that basically did the exact same thing. So to be fair, you can't really go after them. And then there's all these other prosecutions too that Democrats believe. Oh, well, he's a 35-time felon, and he raped E.G. Carroll, and all these other lies that are not true. First of all, Donald Trump was never convicted of rape or sexual abuse in any court whatsoever. And you can look it up, and there are actually headlines on Google that says he is. But that is propaganda on the part of Google. If you Google most things, Kamala Harris, it's all positive. You Google most things about Donald Trump, it's all negative. And to me, that is voter interference. It's suppressing votes purposely. It is, and it should be no less illegal for Russia to do it as it should be for Google or mass media networks like ABC, CBS, because everybody saw that debate. Everybody saw how biased the ABC commentators are. And it wouldn't surprise me because there's a lot of accusations that they were in coercion with the Kamala Harris campaign because of her best friendship with one of the producers and so on. So, and if that all comes out, those newscasters should be fired. Newscasters should keep their opinions out of political subjects unless it's an entertainment or commentary show. But to have newscasters divulge their bias on air when it's supposed to be a news a news program. For example, David Muir, who was one of the debate moderators on the debate, if you ever listen to the ABC News, and it's why I unsubscribed to them recently, is when he says something about Donald Trump, it's in a very low tone, very condescending. Then anytime he mentions anything that Kamala Harris is doing, it's an upbeat. Oh, she's doing this wonderful thing, and she's in this town, and she's looking great, and she's so far ahead of her Donald Trump in the elections and polls. And I don't see how nobody doesn't see the biasness in our news media. It's not right. It is election interference, and it should be illegal. Anyway, so let's get back to the reasons why people are voting for Kamala Harris. And I've watched several of the videos where people are going up and they're putting a microphone in someone's face. Are you voting for Trump or Kamala? And it's been I've seen mixed bag. I think a lot of times it's based on where they are. Of course, it's also based on how they ask and who they're asking. Because I've seen some videos where this one guy does a YouTube channel. I'll have to remember his name or name of his channel, where he went around and one day it was all Donald Trump and one day it was all Kamala Harris. But what shocks me is the amount of times he asks people why are they voting for Kamala, and they literally have no idea what she stands for. They only know that she's either a woman, she's black, or she's a Democrat, and that's all they care about. They have no idea about her policies. They have or they've heard her say something about, an opportunity economy. What is that? Does any of them know? It's just a tagline that she keeps repeating in every single speech she's given since her nomination. And here's the thing. She didn't even earn that nomination. It was given to her. Okay, so there's probably still a lot of Biden supporters out there that aren't particularly happy with Kamala Harris either. And Donald, if you watch some interviews in the past, Joe Biden actually brought up some very negative things about her. And of course now he's, I'm supporting her now. But I mean, that's the whole political game right there. That's what they do. Anyways, so Kamala Harris also, during every interview you've seen, including the debates, repeats the same speech over and over and over. It's a script. She cannot speak off the cuff. And the few times that they tried, like on Oprah, and then I think there's a recent one on CNN or CNBC, she made a complete fool out of herself. Even on Oprah, you could watch the expression in Oprah's face when they asked her, the couple that they had brought on asked her how she's going to bring down the cost of living for the average American. And she starts that same speech she did in the debate and that she did on all the prior interviews that they did. Oh, well, I came from a middle-class home, and I had two moms, and one of them had a business, and people like beautiful lawns, and they want respect and good feelings and happy joy. And never once in any of her interviews has she actually answered the question. And people are still going to vote for her. It's also the same thing that things that she keeps repeating, which is a lie, is she said that Donald Trump blocked a bipartisan border bill. It got blocked for a lot more reasons than that, and the Democrats are playing the game, and people believe it, is when that border bill was put in front of Congress, it had a $60 billion payout or assistance program for the Ukraine war. It also had the $16 billion assistance program for the war in Israel, and yet nobody ever brings that up. And then they say it was bipartisan, but only one representative switched sides, one Republican. That's not very bipartisan if you ask me, but people believe it. No matter what you tell them, they want to believe that Donald Trump squashed that bill and there was nothing they could do over the last 4 years to stop all these immigrants coming over the border. It's a lie, and people are still buying it. It's baffling to try to get people to see the common sense things that's right in front of their eyes if they don't want to see it. These are these people that go, la, 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 I don't hear you. I don't want to know that it wasn't bipartisan. I don't want to know there was all these things on the bill. I don't want to know that it's all Donald Trump for it. And I'm going to vote for her because she's black and she's a woman and she's wonderful and she's a Democrat. And that's it. That's all they want to know. That's not the way you pick the leader of the free world. There was I saw, I think it was a joke or something, or somebody made a commentary on one of these other channels where they said, if you're going to get on a plane, right, and they're going to pick a pilot to fly your plane, do you want the black pilot or the female pilot, whatever, unless they were the top in their class, to fly your plane? So who do you want? Do you want the DEI hire, or you want the best pilot possible to fly your plane? And if you're honest, you're going to say the best pilot, if you're honest. But, I'm being pro-Trump or anti-Kamala, so, of course, people are going to argue with me anyways, but that's the way our country works. Or that's the way our society is. Anyways, long story short is, these are and then also Kamala Harris just repeats lies at every single interview that, Donald Trump said there was fine people in the KKK, and he said there's going to be a bloodbath if he doesn't get elected president, which has been vetted 1,000 times, and she still repeats it, which to me, how do you vote for somebody who's going to be president who lies like that purposely? Donald Trump exaggerated about the dogs and cats, but it was a true story. It may not have happened on a large scale, but he didn't purposely lie. Has he lied in the past? Yes, he most certainly has. Is he my optimum candidate to be president? No, he isn't. But if you're going to weigh the pros and cons of what's going to happen over the next 4 years, seeing that we're $35 trillion in debt, and Kamala Harris's plan to give $25,000 to first-time home buyers, all that's going to accomplish is increase the debt. And what is $25,000 going to do for a house, an average house that's between $360,000 and $400,000? So it gets your foot in the door. Can you afford the mortgage? And now with the inflation, thanks to the Biden-Harris administration, how are you going to afford the mortgage payment based on the high and ridiculous percentage rates that are going on around right now in this country? How are you going to afford that? So it's $25,000. We're going to give these people across this country these grants. They're going to move into the house, and less than 6 months to a year or 2 years, the house is going to get repossessed. And all that's going to do also is raise the asking price of most houses by $25,000. It's a horrible plan, but she will never tell you that. Neither will the Democratic Party or any of the other news organizations. They will not tell you these things because they're manipulating you, right? Do the Republicans manipulate too? Yes, they do. I think I represent more of our country than anybody else in this country, which is I don't particularly like either choice. I'm making the lesser of the two evils. And Donald Trump, I know this is going to turn listeners up. He actually does have some good values. Is he kind of a jerk? Yes. But also, does he have some good points? Does he have some values? Yes, he does. Does he make me feel secure? Yes, he does. And I'll tell you why. Because that man is a multi-billionaire. He could be on a beach sucking on pina coladas anywhere in this country. What is he doing? He's fighting for our country. He's traveling across the entire country trying to become president because he believes if Kamala Harris becomes president, she's going to bring our country down. And I'm in the same camp with him. Okay? Is he the greatest guy in the world to run a country? No, he's not. I said this before too. I like Vivek Ramaswamy. I think he's a class act. He's intelligent, and I can't wait in 4 years if Donald Trump is successful over the next 4 years if he becomes president. I think Vivek Ramaswamy will take the next reign. I think, unless somehow J.D. Vance turns out to be super wonderful and people go crazy for him. But I think Vivek Ramaswamy has a big future in the Republican Party, and I think in our government altogether. He's a brilliant man. Anyways, so back to Kamala. People are voting for her based on a series of lies that the Democratic Party has gotten a large portion, almost 50% of our population, to believe. And a majority of them are not true. And then you also get these other people, too. I was just watching a video where a guy walks around the country and he puts a mic up to everybody and says, Kamala or Trump? And several videos where it was all Trump, several videos it was all Kamala. It depends on what state he was in, blah, blah, blah. But a large portion of the Kamala voters had no idea what her policies were, what she has accomplished over the 3.5 years. A lot of them didn't even know that there was this $11 million immigration invasion that we've had over. They had no idea none of this was going on, but they're going to go vote. This is why I think you need voter ID, and I think you need to pass a few questionnaire to vote, because there's people that are voting who have no concept who or what they're voting for, and it's basically become a high school class president election where who could make themselves the most popular and make the most promises. That's crazy. We can't have that going on in this country because the stakes are too high. Again, I'm repeating myself, but $35 trillion in debt. We're on the border of teetering on collapse, and that nobody believes me. And when I tell my friends that, they're like, I don't want to hear that, don't want to hear. They don't want to know the truth. I'll make it. I'll be okay. Or they said if Kamala Harris is president and the economy collapses, she'll have advisors. You don't want somebody running the country who needs advisors to tell her what to do. You have no idea who's going to be influencing her. You want the person running the country to know what to do. And yes, Donald Trump hasn't been the best businessman ever. Yes, he's bankrupted companies, but I tell you right now, he has a hell of a lot more knowledge about world finance and economic policies and the stock market than Kamala Harris will ever know in her entire lifetime. Yet, does that make him the best choice? No. Or does that make him the best choice, period, all around? No. Does it make him the best choice between these two candidates? 100%. And if you can't see that, then I have to say you're brainwashed. I would love to be another candidate that could run against Donald Trump that would make sense. I wish it was a real competition, but to me, I don't see the competition. To me, it's one choice. I'm still not going to vote for him because I'm in California and my vote's not going to count. But if I happen to be in a swing state where my vote might actually... But my protest vote is I want to vote for a candidate for president that I believe in. And I didn't like what happened with January 6th, even though I think if you watch my prior video, I don't think it was an insurrection, but it was the 147 minutes that he didn't do anything but tried to get the electors overturned instead of stopping the people in the Capitol. But the point being is, so that's my protest vote. But see, it's analytical. I'm making my decisions based on the situation. But if I thought my vote would make a difference, I would. If I was in one of those states, I would put Donald Trump's name on that ballot. That's how much I believe in the difference between these two candidates. Which one is going to bring more value, and which one, if there's an economic collapse, which is pretty good indication could happen, especially when Warren Buffett takes half of his net wealth out of the stock market. That should tell people something. And all you got to do is Google it or do a YouTube search, and you're going to see there's hundreds of videos talking about an impending economic collapse that's due any time now. And I don't want somebody like Kamala who's talking about happy joy and how she's going to have advisors to help her through these things. No, I want somebody who knows what they're doing. That's Donald Trump. Anyways, thanks for listening. And I just want you to always remember, what burns my ass probably burns your ass too. Thanks.